Welcome back, everyone. I am so excited for our session today because it is all about rest and balance between action and rest. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's just start with 3 deep breaths. Inhale, exhale, 2 more. Exhale. 1 more. And release. As we're just focusing on our energy here, just notice that sometimes doing more accomplishes less. So sometimes we have to prize resting. So what is resting here? Just working on your energy. Resting is understanding that after you've done what you intended to do, relinquish the need to control the outcome. Once you've given what is reasonable for you to do, you rest the body for the next day. I think people can get lost in motivation. And what does that mean? Motivation means you get really excited about something and you're running off of that adrenaline or that energy to get you through it. But for most things, you're not always going to be motivated. So it's learning how to go through life and do what's reasonable in order to go forward, heal, grow, goals, desires, without doing so much because you want everything to have come yesterday. Relax. Everything that you want and you desire, if it's truly meant for you, is possible for you to do. And so, for any doubters who might think, well, I want something, what if it's not meant for me? The things that are meant for you are always for your greatest good. The things that are not meant for you are typically things that we construct to appease other people or to create something that is not authentic to us. When you look inside yourself and see what is truly real, it will always come to you. But you have to take the action. Praying and hoping and manifesting something that you take zero action on will never come into fruition. But the funny thing about it is you don't have to take a lot of action. You just have to take reasonable steps each and every day. And that's where 90% of the people fall out. Simply because once they will something to them, they don't nurture it. They don't take care of it. They want it to feel so emotional or motivating or all the time. Sometimes the things that you want, you desire feel good. Sometimes it feels like nothing at all. Sometimes there are challenges and there's setbacks. But if you just continue to do what you can, taking those actions and resting when you need to, over time, you'll feel so accomplished, so achieved, so successful in whatever those things are. These little moments will build you up. Sometimes when you're doing something new, it could be very scary. So getting over that fright feels like climbing up a mountain. But if you find a way to get through it and just do the best you can, maybe you weren't able to do that big thing, but You faced your fears and you did this little thing. Over time, consistently, you will build and develop something that will be amazing. And then you turn around and you're like, I'm so proud of me for doing this. You won't feel like you have wasted your time or put yourself under unnecessary stress. It is only when you are at your limit and you're pushing yourself so far past that you're hurting yourself, you're not resting yourself. That's when we injure ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, esoterically. So it's about finding what you can do, doing it, and being patient. Most of the things you want in life will come to you with right plan, consistent action, and time. But sometimes people want and they desire this big thing yesterday. Don't worry about it. Your dreams will 100% come true. 5 years, 10 years, 100%. The actions you have to take aren't even that huge. It's just about consistency and navigating any challenges. But most people won't stick to it because it's not entertaining. Truly going after and growing, healing, achieving is not about being entertained or motivated the whole time. It's about deciding that there's something that you care enough about that you want to pour into, finding your process, your limits, so that you can do it safely and just rinse and repeat. Eventually, over time, you create something amazing that many people probably desired to do, but could not get there simply because they just didn't have the patience. It's not that it's so difficult or so hard. They just simply didn't have the patience. Very fleeting in their energy. And there's a lot of things that happen. For example, sometimes people confuse fake it until you make it, meaning if you just have to find where you need your confidence to motivate you to do this or do that, or just give you that little spark, do what you can. But sometimes people are actually lying about what they've accomplished, but they present it in such a way that people believe it and they buy into it. So with that being said, those types of people and those types of processes cannot guide you in your healing, cannot guide you in your development, cannot guide you in what is best for you. So there's this false sense of path that most people are confused by. That's why whenever you need to make a life decision, it's always a good idea to do research. It's not always about just jumping in because the moment made you feel this type of way. Feelings are fleeting. But when you truly understand something, you'll see the big picture. And if you still fall in love with whatever that is, then you know, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can keep going. Maybe I can keep growing in this direction. If when motivation is low, if when you try to give yourself that little spark and it's still not there, but things need to get done, realistic things need to get done, and you just cannot find it in you to do it, why not reevaluate what are the things you actually want in your life? Sometimes people got hopes, dreams, wishes, goals that belong to other people, that are satisfying other people's idea of what they think you should be, or what we think other people's ideas are. Sometimes it's not others imposing, it's our own self-imposed thought of how we're showing up and presenting in the world. So I'm saying all that to say, let's just cleanse all that out, get down to what's really important to you, and pour yourself into it reasonably and find rest. It does not have to make sense to anyone except for you. You do not have to share every part of the journey with everyone all the time. You only need to be vulnerable with yourself until you get to a place of comfort. Rinse and repeat. Can you make it weeks? Can you make it years? Can you make it decades? There are some people who appear to have had it or gotten it very quickly, but most of the time it's not true at all. That's not really what is happening there. It's what's being presented or marketed to you, but it's not really what's happening. So if you truly want something and you've done the research to see, this is how to get it. Here are great examples of people who've done this and they've done it over and over consistently. Find the path that works, the consistent path, and do it. Stop rushing and racing to things. Just take your time. And so when you have something that takes years to develop, make sure it's worth it for you. For example, if you're investing in something that you want to change the quality of your life, relationships, work, things that you put together, community things, it should be worth it at the end. So you know over time, this is worth it. Depending on how old you are in relationships, if you've had some experience, you'll be able to say, I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I know how I can show up. I know what I can give. I know what I need someone else to give. And I know what I can work through during a relationship. And over time, it does not have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to be check off this. It can be simply what is best for you and your person. When we look at things that have to do with career or goals, or things that can be financial, or things that can be developmental, I want to be able to do this skill. These things should make you feel really great at the end. So if they take 10 years to be able to develop a certain skill, you will have that skill for a lifetime. So for example, you're learning a particular skill with your body, but you feel over time, yes, if it takes 10 years to get there, safely, of course, because when people rush certain things, rush emotions, rush your body, that's how you get injuries, that's how you get trauma. But if you safely get there, how amazing is that you have unlocked something that most people won't be able to, but more importantly, that you weren't able to. You become a new person. You become the new part of you. So whether that is career-wise or job or skills or like actual things that you care about, hobbies, growth, development, maybe things that are not financially related, maybe they do have a potential there, but it's more of self-fulfillment. When you do things that fulfill your soul, it has nothing to do with anyone else. I always say it like this, especially as someone who is an esoteric practitioner who takes it very serious, who continues to train and learn and question and grow. There's going to be many times where when I do things, they're not going to make sense to even me, let alone to other people. But I still go on this journey as a practitioner because it feels right in my soul to do so. I don't do it because of the money, because sometimes money's good and sometimes the money's not good. I don't do it because of the attention, because on social media, it is very easy to look the part of an esoteric practitioner and to just pretend, But I don't do it because of that, because, attention is fleeting as well. One day you're in, one day you're out. I do it because I'm a person who thinks about the soul. And when I go through life and the things that logically don't make sense, or the things that are of logic are not there, I don't have it, I look to my soul, to my spirit, to these esoteric things to give me hope and to give me balance along the journey. So throughout my entire life, I'm always going to have to do those things. So that's why I continue to learn and I continue to grow. I've been lucky to be able to help others along the way, both in teaching and as clients. But I've also been very lucky to have practitioners help me as their client or me as their student too. So I do this and I'm going to keep on doing this, whether one modality is in or out, whether people like this or people don't like that, it doesn't change for me. Whether I'm really, really good technically or whether I keep myself at a certain level in a certain place because it feels right to me, I do it for me. Because at the end of the day, when I wake up and I can utilize these skills, it's not about having to explain it to other people. It's about, do I have peace in my life? Am I building the life that I want? Everyone's perfect life looks different. But for me, as I build out my perfect life more and more, and I've gotten closer and closer and closer, and when I say perfection, I don't mean things that aren't mistakes or things that aren't you want to grow more. I just mean things that really make me happy. For me, it is solitude, it's quiet, it's the ability to focus on the things that are important to me, and also sharing community and collective with my loved ones. That's pretty much it for me. Over time, I've learned that money is more important too. So you set yourself up so that you can financially take care of yourself. But I think what's actually even more important than money is your physical health, your emotional, your mental, your spiritual, and your physical health. I've seen many people who have worked their whole life and have a very comfortable life, very financially successful, but have done so much damage to their body through stress, through eating, through physical limitations. Even people who want to be more active, but they just beat on their body and just not take the time. Because when we have our individual goals, those can take as long as we want, so we can safely get there. But when we start to incorporate other people's processes and goals, which can be a part of the research process as you are developing your plans for doing anything, we don't want to be derailed by things. Always come back to yourself. How long can I give my body for what I need? Healing and love. Healing in work, self-development, skills, developing things, learning. Healing in connection with the spirit, the esoteric knowledge. How long do I want to learn things? Techniques, training wise. All of these things that come up that don't have to make sense to anybody else, but bring me peace. So what I notice is that when I walk into life and I walk into the people that I see, a lot of people are just kind of all over the place because they just don't have that same space. But I've really taken the time to think about this stuff and create my life for that. But also, there are people who have things that I don't have that are amazing. So maybe they're more immersed in a lot of things happening at once, but that provides new opportunities, new experiences, new ways to look at things, things that I'll never probably experience simply because it's not my desire. But what if it is their desire? I'm saying all of this to say the life you construct and you create for yourself should be for you. And over time, as you go through whatever challenges that come up, you take your time and you create a better thing or a better solution for your comfort. But life is not needing to live 1,000 lifetimes in this one life. Life is simply finding a way to pour yourself into things that are important, to make sure that you feel safe and secure emotionally, physically, financially, and to just keep your health as best as you can, emotionally, physically, spiritually, esoterically, all of those things, they come together. So I make peace with it each and every day. And the best thing of all is I don't try to convince anyone to break free from their bad habits. I try to create and curate spaces that if people are working through it, there are resources. But when I see someone struggling and they acknowledge that they want to continue to maintain the habits of struggle, I let them do it. Struggle is not the same thing as challenge. Challenges are normal. They happen. We learn through them. But when you make the same mistakes over in love, in money, in self-development, in, wanting things, get rich quick, wanting to be an expert yesterday, wanting to have all of these things quick now, wanting all this dopamine energy of fast, this high energy all the time. I'm not breaking anyone from that. That requires too much energy from me. I simply am providing curated spaces for people to work on themselves, to just have a break. And there will be moments of excitement, long moments of boredom, moments of discomfort. But as you mature and you go through life, those moments of discomfort stop feeling so traumatic and start feeling like just discomfort. We learn new ways of doing things. So just know that as you are maturing in how you respond to things that are challenging, that it is completely okay if it feels a little when you're learning a new way. Over time and habit, your brain will relax. The cool thing about us as a species is we have the ability to reflect and try to predict things that cause us challenge and try to think about it beforehand. But most of those things that we're trying to predict will not come to be, and they just kind of just give us stress anyway. And also the things that have already passed have already passed. So as we are maturing, as we are evolving, as we are learning better ways to utilize how our brain works, it is not about hurting ourselves or putting ourselves down or saying, why can't I do this? No, it's not about that. It's being understanding. I understand that this is what you're trying to do to protect me. I don't believe that that's going to happen, and I'm not going to worry about it unless it happens. Because 9 times out of 10, if it does happen, the solutions are so much simpler than the agony of just constantly thinking about something over and over and over again. Just release it and let it be. Believe me, you release it, let it be, something new will come up and you just work through it. But over time and habit, once you get used to something, your brain will come up with something else to think about. So no need to worry about those things. All of this stuff that you're doing in your journey, all of this in this work as you develop yourself has everything to do with understanding action and rest, the balance between the two. Everything you want can be done reasonably and realistically with enough time, action, and rest. Any challenge that comes up, you will be able to navigate it. Even when you feel uncomfortable, there are moments where there will be no motivation, and it's okay. Do what you can and just keep going. Over time, it'll be fine. There's many things that we need at different times. Myself included, I need motivation of certain things at certain time. Or I like to be excited about things at a certain time. But at the end of the day, you need to find what truly makes you happy. Relook at challenges, because when I look back at my life and I think of the things that I wanted that just were so challenging, maybe because it just took forever for things to work out, or maybe I was making the same self-limiting decisions. But regardless, all of those years of discomfort created this desire in me that whatever it was that I wanted then, now that I'm able to do it, it makes it feel like it doesn't, I don't care what it looks like to other people. I don't care how other people have done it. It's just a desire that I want because it took so long to get there. So even challenges, if you face them the best way you can, resting when you can, over time, even if it takes years. I have some stuff that I've been working on for 20 years, and I'm finally seeing a shift now. And, it could be different things in your life. But it lets me know, there's no way, now that I'm seeing the movement that I want, that anyone can knock me down. I've already not just paid my dues, but I've already, there's nothing, there's no what ifs. If setbacks happen, I already know how to navigate them. Not all challenges are just here to be discomfort. Learning the challenge sometimes builds you into having peace later on. So it's the maturity of how we approach things over time. So I hope that this session brought you both relaxation, both in what I was saying and how we started the session off, as well as encouragement in your overall growth and healing. You can do it. And I don't limit myself in conversation if we're only talking about spiritual or physical or emotional. No. If you're looking for the right love, romantic love, if you're looking for the right love, the love within family or the love within friendship or community, if you're looking for financial support, financial means, development, business development, career support, career advancement, if you're looking for skills development and hobbies or passions that you have in your creativity or in your art, if you are on this journey of the soul making meaning of the moment for yourself, if you're connecting with others or you're connecting with yourself, if you feel called to do many things or you are feeling called to do one thing in this moment, all of those things happen at one time in our life. We don't have to separate those things. You just do your best. All of it is pretty much the same thing when it comes to making a plan. Just be realistic. Just do the best you can. Just remember, you can't control others. So before you want to do spell work, to force someone to fall in love with you or to force a love in your life, just make sure that life isn't actually giving you a blessing of creating something that once love does come in your life, you can just enjoy it and it doesn't have to be forced. Or maybe you want something to come to be that you've been working on, a project, or just make sure that that patience that maybe life is giving you is not a punishment, of more of like timing. Maybe others are catching up to you. So when you do present whatever that is that you are presenting to the world, it's an amplified experience. Not everything that you experience that's discomfort is here to hurt you or to harm you. So open your mind. Okay? It doesn't mean that you gotta go through and have a smile for things that make you feel upset. Address your feelings and your emotions, but just work through it. I say you have faith. This is when you step in and you have faith in whatever your higher understanding, whether you have a higher understanding or you don't, that's up to you. But for me, it is when I have faith and I just surrender and I say, okay, and it's so amazing for me. Like I work on my relationship with God. I work on my relationship with life. And I think people often don't understand how I can constantly be working on my relationship with God. And I'm not a religious person. I don't have any dogma. I'm not trying to convince people to think in any kind of way. And I have no investment in even forcing someone to think in if there has to be a divine. I just believe that it is my individual responsibility to my spiritual path, and I just want to give people the freedom to do that, however that shows up for them, and create communities to coexist. I know people don't always get it, but it is what it is. I try to be myself, and I just try to encourage others to be themselves too. So thank you for this session today. Thank you for this community space and for us to be able to grow in this direction. If you like the way that I talk, if you like the way that I teach, if you like my healing, I do take on clients as well as I do take on students. So I do have cohorts for students and I do have open books for clients. So you can find all of my information pretty much everywhere, or go to reikihealinghope.com and you can get that information too. I'm so excited to share this journey and excited to hear about your journey. Just keep going and you'll be fine. Bye, everyone.